Boom.
It's time to wreck shit. It's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. It's when I feel my most rebellious.
Mhm.
Every Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, I either go to Mexico, which is my favorite thing to do, or I just say things on Twitter that are radical.
Mhm.
So this year, I ask everyone to remember the second Pilgrim colony along the Massachusetts Bay, which was known as Marymount Colony, founded by Thomas Morton, which was a direct and explicit radical rejection of Puritanism. They embraced the sensual pleasures at Marymount. They drank whiskey. They also invited the Indians in to party with them. They danced around a maypole. It was a wonderful, near idyllic scene, yet the Puritans gathered up their very first militia, their very first American army of any kind, was the militia that was formed by Miles Standish from the Plymouth colony, which marched on Marymount, arrested Thomas Morton, deported him back to England, killed some of the Indians, and chopped down the maypole, which was the symbol of pleasure and individual freedom across the English world. And yet the Puritans won. And that began what I call in Renegade History of the United States, America's eternal civil war between hedonism and moralism, between Puritanism and libertinism, between freedom and repression. And it's still going on today. So tomorrow, when you're filling your plate, know that that is appropriate, but it's also not. You just have to choose a side in America's eternal civil war. Are you with the Puritans or are you with Thomas Morton?
Yeah.
Michael, which side are you on?
I am eating turkey tomorrow. That's
okay.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
I will be eating dark meat though. I will not.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be on the side of the blacks tomorrow. I get fried chicken on Thanksgiving.
You can fry a turkey, dude. It's really good. You can fry a turkey.
Oh, that's some white shit. No, I've seen that. Yeah, that's like, the football dudes do that. They talk about that, That's their only cooking of the year. And the only thing they talk about other than the NFL, which is well worth talking about. But man, you are crushing it. What's going on in Indiana with football this year?
I know. And I was skeptical that Jim Irsay's daughter, I have some biases perhaps against women and their involvement, let's say in sports and politics. And I've been proved very wrong, surprisingly, by Jim Irsay's daughter involvement with the Colts and picking plays and showing some real leadership with the team.
She's not picking plays. She's not picking plays, certainly.
She's on the sideline. It looks like she's calling some plays. Yeah.
Okay. Jim Irsay was an interesting character. What were his drugs of choice?
Okay. I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but I do know the neighborhood.
That's not. I love drugs. What do you mean? Yeah. His man had good taste.
Yeah. He publicly he did have a DUI, but
no, but he was into. I think he was into ketamine and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Like he was. Yeah, he was a. Sounded like he was a real drug user type, like a real. See, I don't mean that as an epithet. That's I mean that. No, I mean there are people who. I mean, I have a good friend who does this. I mean, they partake, they experiment. That doesn't mean they're lying on a couch with a needle in their arm all day long. But although I guess with Jim Irsay, it sort of ended up there. I don't know how he died, but it sounded like he might have.
I forget at this point.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Then his daughter takes over, and the Colts decline in quality as a team, and then they make the worst draft pick ever with Anthony Richardson, who can't play football, it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
And everything looks terrible with the Colts, and then everybody's blaming and saying, "Oh, well, we gave the girl the keys to the car," and everybody was saying that.
Yeah.
And now look, suckers.
Mm-hmm.
Girl power.
Girl power.
Wins again.
Girl power.
The girl boss comes in, takes over a football team of all things, and turns it around. So now what you gonna say?
Yeah. It's like the hate for Sofia Coppola, because Godfather 3 was Godfather 3 was horrible. If you watch the first 2 Godfather movies, they're the greatest movies ever made. Also, a great thing to watch with your Italian family on Thanksgiving. Always go to AMC, have the Godfather movies on in the background. If you want something to watch, classic, always works.
By the way, that just for people watching, if you're in a WASP family, don't watch it. It's too ethnic for you. It's
Well,
it'll be hard to understand. Yeah, a lot of swarthy people.
Just watch it through the eyes of Diane Keaton, the WASP wife, who
precisely
gets dragged
right.
along. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Diane Keaton.
I mean, it really is when Italians were still Sicilians were still black in a big way. As of the 70s, oh yeah, 60s, 70s.
Yeah,
I mean, they were still shaking that off a little bit. Their blackness. It was before World War II. They were totally considered to be black, or something worse, or certainly not white. So I was just thinking, the Diane, was it Keaton? Wait, who?
Yeah, Diane Keaton was the WASP wife in the movie.
Right, I was thinking it was almost like I mean, then it was pretty much equivalent to an interracial thing.
No, explicitly, yeah. Watch those wedding scenes, and you got these drunk Italians.
And I don't mean like an Indian white interracial thing, or like, a Thai white interracial. I mean like a black and white, Sicilian and Diane Keaton was like, pick your porn title. It's one of those. Anyway, moving on. Do you want to just dive right into geopolitics and energy corruption scandals in Ukraine, or do you want to talk? What do you want to do, man?
I do want to talk. Well, it's another day, another leftist terrorist attack. I mean, we don't know the motives of the guy who shot the.
Oh, right, the National Guard. Okay, right.
Yeah.
I guess some people won't even. It happened 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of people won't even know. Yeah. So 2 National Guardsmen. I think they're both men. Were shot dead in Washington, D.C. at Farragut Square, right? I think right outside the metro station there. And they caught the guy. There's at least one picture of him getting wheeled into an ambulance. I mean, I guess, well, okay. So the initial I'm trying to think, what is it that I want to say now about it? But I guess we can certainly comment on what has happened, and discourse, of course, is what has happened. So the discourse so far that I saw is, the liberals, the Democratic liberals, are saying, oh, this is what happens when you put the National Guard in cities. Okay. And the right is saying that he's a Muslim, basically. Which is what they always say. So, and it might be true, by the way. Might be true. I think they're both true. I think they're both right. Yes, the thing is, I mean, they're Muslims have had and continue to have, and have more than ever, a lot of reasons to be very pissed off at the United States generally. I thought we sort of figured that out about 22 years ago, 4 years ago. I thought we had that conversation, and I thought people were here for that. But it's amazing nowadays. I hear people talk as if they have no concept of this blowback thing. It's just, oh, Muslims they want to kill us because of our freedoms, and that's why they do these terrible things. Anyway, I mean, we don't know who this guy was. Based on the picture I saw, I would say it is most certainly possible that he's Muslim, but of course, zero evidence other than that, which ain't much, that he is. But anyway, so that's been the debate so far, and we'll see. What do you think?
So the left, the hard left on Blue Sky and TikTok, is celebrating this. They're saying this guy they're saying this guy got kirked. The ACAB crowd. So not like serious commentators, but
not the Democrats. Not Democrats.
Well,
no. I mean,
Democrats in Washington, D.C. aren't celebrating this. No.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I mean officials of the Democratic Party.
no.
Yeah, I mean people who identify with the capital D
The
Democratic Party.
establishment
They
leadership
can't
is
do
not
that.
overtly celebrating this. No,
They can't
but
do that.
uh,
They're also usually not like that. I mean, there is a fundamental divide between liberals and the left in this country.
Mhm.
And then within the left, there are other fundamental divides between what you're calling the ACAB crowd, the Antifa crowd, and kind of the Marxist left. And then there's also the sort of BLM identity left too. I'd say there's 3 groupings in there. And there's a little bit of overlap among them, of course, but no, they're very different and they kind of hate each other in many ways. So you got to be specific about who you're talking about.
I think all of those factions there are people in all those factions that are delighted.
Celebrating?
Yeah.
No.
It's
Democrat,
Trump's,
no.
It's
no.
Trump's National Guard.
No.
I mean, I'm talking about the left. I'm talking about the left.
Liberals, meaning Democratic Party activists, operatives, officials, right? People who are officially aligned with, identified with the Democratic Party, work for or with the Democratic Party. That's who my former students were or are. They all grew up to be Democrats, and a lot of them work with the party or in some capacity. No, these are kids who went to fancy prep schools, who are from upper middle class or upper class families. Exclusively, they are from the suburbs or the best neighborhood in the big cities. They went to, of course, an Ivy League college, and they were recruited by the State Department basically right out of college, and they've worked, as like Tony Blinken's coffee maker, since they got out of college. That kind of thing. Their establishment, they're from the soul of the establishment. They grew out of the grass of prep schools. And they are not people who fight cops in the street. They don't know what violence looks like. They've never seen a gun except on a cop. Nobody they know has ever been in a war. They are bourgeois, genteel, not like that. And their politics are similar. Their politics, they think, are radical, right? But they think Kamala Harris is radical.
No, I'm not. No,
they're not into killing cops.
I'm talking about the same freaks that you saw on TikTok and Blue Sky who were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. That same crowd.
Yeah.
Of radicalized, mostly young people.
Yeah. Well, so they all 3 factions on the left. Here's the funny thing about them. All 3 end up voting for the Democrats in elections.
Yes. They're basically the shock troops of the.
Even most of these so-called anarchists, I know this because I personally knew many of them, who sort of basically founded the Northwest Antifa. I know the mentality. I was amazed by it. I mean, they were running around talking about smash the state, and then like come November every 4 years, like, oh no, we got to vote for, Jimmy Carter or whoever.
But what did they think about National Guardsmen deployed by Donald Trump in DC?
Oh, they would have been stoked to kill them.
They think they're Nazis, right? They think they're
whatever,
jackboot authoritarian.
No, they would have been
right.
They wouldn't have been like jumping up and down celebrating, but they would have been like, yeah, right on, brother.
If you had, imagine if they had Blue Sky or TikTok, or if they had radicalizing social media, creating an echo chamber and a place where performative unhumanity is rewarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if it is actual self-defense? What if you are being occupied by an invading army? What about then? Would you be down with offing the pigs?
In a hypothetical situation that does not map onto this situation, the closest thing would be the Branch Davidians in the United States fighting back.
There you go.
And
right.
Yeah.
I mean, like Iraq, let's say, like you live in Baghdad, you live in Sadr City circa 2002. And then the next year, these like guys from, Anaheim and, Kansas City are like marching through on your streets with big guns, telling you what to do and where to go. Would it be okay? How would you feel about me shooting them?
I can't put myself in the position of, I can't mentally map myself onto that in that world.
Because
and
you've never been in it?
yeah, but
Okay.
you know, I can imagine a Red Dawn situation, for example.
Yeah,
if we're going with fiction.
exactly. Yeah, the Iraqis actually had a Red Dawn,
Mhm.
right? As have many other countries. It's just that it was the Americans, you know, doing the invading. But yeah,
But
seriously, right?
I'm an American. If it was a foreign country occupying my land, I would sympathize with the people resisting that occupation.
Even if they rose up, what if they like beheaded people? Beheaded occupying soldiers.
Mhm.
You know, did atrocity stuff to them. What about then? What would you say about it? That's when it gets tricky. That's the Hamas. That's the whole Hamas dilemma, right? It's like, what do we? Because it's always gets hung on anybody who's like says Israel sucks. Oh, well, do you condemn Hamas? And well, do I condemn Hamas? I don't know. You know, do I condemn Geronimo? That was my question. I think on October 8th. I think I said this on Twitter. Do you condemn Geronimo? You know, he did some horrendous things, right? The Apache. I mean, many tribes. The Cherokee, etc. Yeah, nasty, nasty stuff, and killed civilians.
I'm comfortable condemning Geronimo.
Okay.
Yeah.
He should have just laid down and taken the conquest, huh?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, I understand why Geronimo did what he did, but you know, I'm not on his side of the battle here. It's a battle. It's a war.
And what happens? What if the Apache come rolling up on your house someday and take it, and then take your whole neighborhood, and then take your whole town, and then take the state of Indiana, and call it Cherokee-stan or whatever they would call it, and kick you out, and you have no right of return, and now you're a Palestinian, bro? What do you do?
Well,
would you just, huh? Would you do largely what the Jews did, or what you do what the Palestinians have done? You know, this is the thing. I mean, there's a big thing in Jewish culture of sort of shame. There is like a lot of actual shame. It's sort of wild to see, you know, about how the Jews didn't actually really resist much. The Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was about it, and that was a matter of days, and it was probably a matter of a few hundred, maybe, people with actual guns. By and large, the Jews just marched to where they were told. And there's a lot of discussion about this in sort of Jewish culture. So the Palestinians most certainly did not do that. I mean, collectively, sort of as a group, obviously. And which is the better, you know, choice?
It depends. It depends.
Morally. It's also the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X debate. Right? Do we submit non-violently to the authority in hopes that it will shame them into changing the law and giving us our rights? Or do we respond to coercive violence from racists or the state with violence in kind, thereby forcing it to accede to our demands because it will have to, because the state needs order? State can't survive very long if there's violence in the streets, if there's chaotic violence in the streets, especially between the citizens and law enforcement. And Malcolm X understood that. Anyway, so that was the debate. Of course, many people have said, well, Malcolm X was immoral and King was moral. He was the moral one, and that's why King has things named after him all over the country, and Malcolm X only has things named after him in places like Berkeley. But, you know, it's an interesting, I mean, socialists have had this debate. That's one of the big differences between the so-called democratic socialists and the revolutionary socialists is about violence. It's around violence. The DSA was basically founded as, in large part, an explicit renunciation of socialist violence, of revolutionary violence. So they say, no, we're going to do it. That's what the Democratic is for. They're going to say, no, we're going to do it through elections. We're going to get the revolution through elections, which most people have laughed at as impossible, but whatever. That was what it was about. So this violence issue has been, it's been in the center of every significant, I would say, political movement in the world, really. And I mean, I would say in other countries even more so. Other countries have had more political violence in general than we have. So anyway, yeah, I mean, that just laying out the terrain here of debate and discourse, which is what it's mostly going to be about. It also almost ends up not mattering what really happened, right? Like I have to remind myself, I have to think hard and go through it. Like, who actually did the shooting ultimately at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando? Do you remember that one? There were like
the Muslim guy, the
10 different
Muslim guy.
There were like 10 different, totally different explanations for who did it. And each time it was kind of seemed settled. It was like, oh, well, I can't even remember, went through every iteration. It was like a right winger. It was a left winger. It was a gay guy. It was an anti-gay guy. It was a Muslim. It was a gay Muslim. It was, and each one was radically different from the last. And I don't remember where we ended up, but it doesn't matter because Pulse is just, now it's really just part of the gun control debate. It got stuck into that category. So anyway, I think it won't matter much well, I don't know, we'll see. But I mean,
here's the thing.
It will matter. It will matter who he is. Yeah.
This is out of the cultural milieu and the political activity of the last couple of weeks, where you have Democratic lawmakers, senators, and representatives in a united front, culturally, even with Hollywood, calling the active duty military who are carrying out Donald Trump's orders, basically saying that you are carrying out illegal orders and that you will be held to trial just like the Nazis were held to trial at Nuremberg for following illegal orders. And that's what the leadership of the party has been saying. And now we have an act of violence that is treating these National Guardsmen like they are actually Nazis. Now, I don't know if that's the motivation of the shooter, but this is where I see, this is the political landscape that I see happening right now is, you had Slotkin saying that National Guardsmen are shooting civilians. You have these representatives, all of the language is Nuremberg, Nuremberg, Nuremberg. You guys will be held accountable for obeying Donald Trump.
That's not what I heard. What I heard was them saying, you'll be okay, we'll protect you if you disobey orders, illegal orders.
So the first video with
I didn't hear
Sedition
threats.
6, well, this is you have to watch MSNBC.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, there was who did Jen Psaki had on former Army, Glenn Kirshner, former Army Judge Advocate General on, and he was making the Nuremberg argument that the people carrying out Donald Trump's orders right now are going to be handled like they were handled at Nuremberg, specifically for investigating Mark Kelly for the video that he put out.
Okay, I'm talking about the seditious 6 Democratic Congress people. I'm saying they didn't threaten anybody. They didn't say.
They didn't threaten anybody. No, not directly.
With Nuremberg type prosecution, they didn't do that.
They have not. But
you're talking about.
They did not in that video. No.
Okay,
but so if you look at the unified rhetoric coming out of former military intelligence Democrat Party operatives. That's the message.
They have denounced the deployment of National Guard troops in the cities. Correct. Yes. As they should. If no politician denounces the deployment of military troops in cities in your country, something's wrong, right? If the head of state deploys troops into the cities, the major cities in your country, and the legislators, the opposing party, say nothing in opposition to it, you know where you're living, right? You're living in, that's 1984. So thank God. So let me say this. I will never, and my policy is never to say anything positive about a congressperson or a political office holder at all, about the person. But I do say positive things about specific actions they take. And this is one of the best things any political leader in this country has taken by my lights in years. It's exactly what we need. Yeah, it's illegal to shoot people in the fucking ocean with zero due process, zero cause, zero evidence. Yeah. And that's what it's largely about, is the Venezuela situation, which, don't you agree,
And also
is a grotesque violation of human rights and law and everything. That's the last thing we want states to be doing, to be acting completely lawlessly. And what the United States did under, the George W. Bush era was to act lawlessly in detaining people and sometimes torturing them. This is just shooting them Duterte style, like on the street, right? In the Philippines, that's his new policy. You shoot drug dealers on the street when you see them. That's the cops' orders. But this time it's just on boats with, I guess, we don't even know what they used them to. Was it helicopters? Was it from ships? We don't even know. We don't even know what they used to shoot these people. And it's almost for sure these weren't drug dealers sending drugs to the United States. There's almost no way they could have been. Those boats don't go far enough. They don't go from Venezuela to Miami. At most, they were shipping a tiny number of drugs to Trinidad, which is right off the coast of Venezuela. Anyway, yeah, it's one of the most grotesque things a U.S. president's ever done, which is saying a whole lot. And so, yeah, and I can't stand most of these seditious six people on other stuff, but on this, it was great. And it was sort of brave, sort of.
You don't.
What are you talking about?
So, I mean, we're in a post-Obama drone world. I am withholding my judgment on the Venezuelan attacks to see how this plays out. We've talked about this before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about. It's about Venezuela. The seditious six is about Venezuela.
Yeah, Slotkin did talk about Venezuela as well. Yeah, this is partially about Venezuela as well. I am curious. I don't know what's going on 100% with Venezuela. I do trust the administration on this.
Want me to tell you again what's going on with Venezuela? What are you not sure about? What are you not clear about?
There's reasons like how this is going to play out, what's going on. I don't trust former CIA officials, Slotkin. I don't trust these Democrats when they're talking about, I don't believe in regime change wars. I don't trust these people.
Sure.
Criticizing the Trump administration on civil, libertarian, and anti-war grounds. These are members of the deep state. They cheerlead every single war. And
sure.
Yeah, I don't trust them on this. And when they are all unified in opposing this one particular war that isn't even a war yet, that's just pretty strategic placements of things, I don't trust them on this. My instincts are to follow Donald Trump on this, that he is fighting the deep state, that these actions serve the United States interests. This is within our hemisphere. This is something that actually serves the United States interests. When I see where Washington, D.C. is and what the elites think about this, I am withholding my judgment and trusting Trump until this plays out. And
so wait, you'd think there were big, scary drug dealers on those little boats?
I am open to, I don't have the intelligence.
And also you're opposed to having cocaine available in the United States also? Is that part of your position here?
I'm not a vice guy anymore. I'm not really into
You don't want me to have access to cocaine?
No, I'm sorry.
You want to keep me away from cocaine? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so how do you think Trump knows that drug dealers were on that boat? Those boats?
everybody keeps like fear mongering about Palantir and this surveillance state that knows everything that's going on all the time. And then whenever Trump does something, they're like, how does he know anything? Like, Palantir exists.
I haven't mentioned
there's
Palantir. Who are you talking about?
Okay, not you personally.
I don't think I know that Palantir doesn't know. Palantir has contracts with certain countries, Israel, and I think a couple others. It's mostly they know everything that goes on inside of Gaza and the West Bank. Even there, they're not omnipotent yet, as far as I can tell, or omniscient. But no, I
think we have a security state that is capable of monitoring what's on these boats within our hemisphere.
Yeah, right. No, thank you. So the security state, like, so intelligence operatives, right?
Yeah.
CIA or somebody like that in the intelligence told Trump, right? Or they told Rubio, who then told Trump.
Yeah.
It's probably that. It's probably Rubio said, hey, boss, this guy in Langley told me that those are bad drug dealers. And I'm sure that's the extent of the conversation. I mean it. Don't you think that was it? That's all it was?
I trust the administration on this.
Okay. Do you trust those three people? That you trust a person at Langley, CIA, you trust Marco Rubio, who you know was overseeing the whole thing, right? And you trust Donald Trump to know better? Why? Because he knows about such things?
There are people, eventually somebody is going to be in charge of the guns. I trust the current administration to have the guns and to use them over anybody who was at Dick Cheney's funeral, for example. This is the one administration, nobody from the Trump administration.
Wait, why do you trust him?
Because the people who have been screwing over this country hate him. Like, all the deep state people. He wasn't invited to Dick Cheney's funeral, for example. Like, it's obvious where the alignments are. And I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. I'm withholding my judgment and choosing to stay loyal to this. But
what happened to just picking no side?
That's not.
Why do you have
to? I'm not going to pick no side because the stakes are too high.
It's not a thing anymore.
Because if I pick no side, then
then we lose America.
Kamala Harris.
If you don't pick a side, we all lose America.
Yes. Well said. I couldn't have put it better myself.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank God we're going to save America, or that you are saving America.
You're welcome.
Thank God.
Yeah. But you don't.
What are you fucking talking about, Michael? This is obscene, dude. Like the Venezuelan, shooting people out of the water with zero evidence presented. None. It's utterly illegal according to every country. The freaking Brits have stopped providing intelligence to the United States in protest of this. The Brits, who do everything we tell them to do and more. I mean, it's what?
I don't. Again, that's
and
another
you know
good
that
sign.
Trump
I don't
doesn't
trust
know
British intelligence. I don't trust the biggest warmongers in the world.
But you trust the CIA?
I trust Donald Trump.
Yep, but Trump doesn't know anything. You know that, right? He knows what's on Fox News, which is something, but that's the extent of it. You do know that, right? He doesn't read. He doesn't. He talks to. He trusts certain people. He likes certain people, and he does what they tell him. By and large, especially if it's like his daughter, his son-in-law, or whatever, cool businessman walks in whatever rich guy walks in the building and flatters him. And it's actually true. That caricature now is just plainly true. That's how Trump operates. He doesn't have any systematic analysis. He doesn't have any sort of ideological framework. He doesn't have much education in these matters. He basically just went to business school. He doesn't know history in particular. He knows what he's been reading, and he's been an avid news reader for the last 50 years. Definitely. He's definitely been on top of the basic news stories for 50 years. That's his knowledge. We know this, man. We know that he's changed his mind on stuff because he talked to his buddy who owns a restaurant that hires illegal Mexicans who told him, yeah, man, I can't afford to stay in business anymore. You got to reverse that. And he
That's-
stopped deporting them.
That's not, deportations are still happening.
But that's what he did, though. He did reverse them for a while because of that.
That was messaging for
He
a
said
short period
so.
of time. That was messaging for a short period of time.
He said that's what happened. He said he talked to his friends in the restaurant and hospitality industries, and they told him that it was not working. That's what he said, Michael. He reversed in a good way, from my perspective, in his first administration on the Dreamers because Ivanka got upset about it and told him. He said so. We know this. We know he goes by personality and by who flatters him. It's actually almost mechanical. I feel like I could get into the White House because I would know what to say to Trump.
Okay, this is nine of us. Okay, please try. Neither of us. Neither of us know anything about what's in those boats. This is what I've been saying since day one. Neither of us know anything.
In those what? Oh, those boats.
In
Correct.
those boats.
Yeah, that says everything. That we still don't know anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have been some National Guard people pulling over actual boats and raiding them. That's happened, but or the Coast Guard people.
You know that no one. You know that no one is defending this. Basically, like it's except you. Just so you know. But go ahead.
Nobody
continue.
except me. It's
Pretty
got
much.
like there's polling on this, and it's like 52%, 53% of Americans are in favor of this policy right now. Like there was a CBS poll I believe that was like 52%. Yeah, it's like 52-47. Like in general,
which policy?
Of bombing drug dealers in the sea, of blowing drug boats out of the water.
Is this a Fox News poll?
This was a CBS poll.
I don't know. I need to see that. Well, whatever. I mean, if that's true, then Americans once again are disgusting idiots. But
okay,
what else is new?
But you know, like, why do you take the swamp creature's word on Venezuela?
It's not the swamp creature's word.
Alyssa Swankin is a swamp creature. Like,
it's not her word. It's a political move. She's not making an analysis. Okay. She's not like telling us what's going on. She's saying she's encouraging service members to disobey these grotesquely illegal and murderous orders. I mean, I don't even know what else to say, but I mean, I can't really, I mean, if you were related to someone in one of those boats, would you not want to have some due process? Like, I just don't, like, it's so obviously, I mean, as I said, it's nearly a consensus.
Waco happened, and Janet Reno and Bill Clinton faced no consequences. We are living in a post-authoritarian world. People don't take account. Like, the people who run the military and everything are not held accountable for what they do. And this is how things work in this country. And
okay, so
I don't know what happened.
You're offering it. Yeah. Is it you're offering a deep state analysis? Is that what this is?
No, I think people are like banging their head against the wall on this. I'm not, again, like, I see a strategy here in Venezuela, and I am
What's
not.
the strategy?
Okay.
I don't. What do you think the strategy is?
I'm not 100% certain on it. I don't know all the details.
Okay.
But you know, it's a hostile communist regime. It's the.
What are they hostile to?
It's the cartels that run the regime.
What are they hostile to?
It's working with Iran, working with China.
What are they hostile to?
America. It's
like they're hostile to Taco Bell.
It's the
and the Miss America pageant. What are they hostile to? Sorry, go ahead.
People banging their head against the wall here. The voting machines, all this. So the Dominion voting thing, the 2020 election being stolen, our elections being run out of there.
What?
Yeah.
You think Venezuela is a threat to us?
I think Venezuela.
You don't.
I do not still call myself an anarchist, but if you are an anarchist, you should follow. I'm reading the chat here. If you are an anarchist, you know that the right-wing populist is your only path forward to reducing the size of the government. But look, this is
what?
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, someone took Michael. It's this new technology. He looks good. Doesn't he look good? He sounds just like him too, doesn't he? It's amazing. They even got the hair right.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like
it's this whole new AI robotics thing. I don't know if you guys know about it. But yeah, they can just straight up, they can only do like a zoom frame. They can't do his whole body, but they got the upper part. Like it's good. You're good.
Yeah.
What's your name? XYZ243? Are you then?
Great.
Are you in the C class line? Or you? Oh, you're one of the. Okay. Anyway, how's Michael doing? Is he? He's the place where they put anarchists. He's in the deepest hole.
Yeah.
It's in Virginia. It's way underground. They put the real anarchists under there. So anyway, well, go ahead, bot. What do you got to say?
Bot. Well,
what the fuck are you talking about, Michael? You cannot be for it. You're not. You're just bullshit. You're just
I'm not bullshitting. I'm like
devil's advocate.
No, I'm not devil advocate. It's like
you're just trying to stir shit.
As a human being, I'm concerned about the people on these boats.
Oh, that's good.
You know, as somebody who understands
but not that much. You're like ish. You're like concerned ish.
As somebody who understands politics in 2025, I am completely loyal to Donald Trump and everything he's doing. Like, and I've had egg on my face before, trusting what the
you are. What'd you just say? You're loyal to everything he's doing?
Yes,
or will
pretty
do.
Much. Like, look, if you stop time right now. Look, this is.
Wait, was it Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue?
Dude. There's other things.
Wait, was it? Hold on. Was it? I can't. Was it Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue where he was going to shoot you and you were going to still be a supporter? Which one was it? I forget.
Yeah, it's called a figure of speech. It's called.
No,
speaking.
Clearly he was quite accurate.
Yeah.
Because you just said you'll support him no matter what he does.
Yes.
So can you send Michael a message for me? Just tell him. And this is from the chat too. I'm sure you guys want. Just tell Michael that we're waiting for him, and we really look forward to seeing him again.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You're
the last MAGA, right? They're all gone. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is gone.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is
They're all gone.
I was about to use the W word. But Marjorie Taylor Greene
Wiccan
is a woman. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace are complete cancer to the body politic. I do not need psychodrama dominating politics.
Are you suggesting that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not an important part of the Donald Trump political coalition?
She is in a solid red district. She's in a solid red district. And every year she's been running for re-election. She's been getting less and less of the vote. She's not a popular person. She's a loud media mouthpiece.
You are lucky I'm a postmodernist, and hence don't believe in absolute truth and objective reality and stuff like that. Just you're lucky. Just saying.
Okay. You're lucky that I don't make ad hominem arguments or interrupt.
Oh my God.
But it's simple. Like, all right.
What?
This is most people think these people are drug dealers. Most people think like 53-47 polling on this. I'm just saying it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that these are dangerous drug dealers being blown up, and that those dangerous drug dealers have ties to Maduro, and that there's an interest in the United States citizenry for the actions that Trump is taking. And there's polling on this. Yeah, it's what it is. This is like the milquetoast average American position on this issue is I don't like drug dealers and they're getting blown up.
What percentage of Americans thought that Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons?
Yeah. I get you. I know. I'm just Walter Cronkite here. They've been wrong. Yeah.
So what does it matter? Americans are notoriously stupid and gullible on such issues.
Okay.
They are. I mean, it's been demonstrated over and over again. This is not even that controversial. I mean, Ask an American. They'll tell you they don't know shit about the world.
All right.
We know that. So what? You support this?
I'm not, again,
Barbarism?
I'm withholding my judgment. I'm withholding my judgment.
Oh,
That's what I'm
I
doing.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not a know-it-all.
All right.
I'm trusting. Look, this is not out of the ordinary. Obama Trump striked American citizens. Waco
Okay.
happened.
Well,
Look,
I'm
Bush
I'm
tortured
having
people. This is what the government does. Like, I know what the government is. And I know what they do. I'm not like, this is nothing new. And this might
Right.
actually serve our interests. I'm open to that. This might actually serve the interests of American citizens.
This might actually serve our interests.
Yes.
The only effect it will have inside this country is maybe, and probably won't even do this, but at most, cocaine prices will go up slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly. 5%. 5% of our cocaine comes from Venezuela. That's it. It doesn't even produce, and none of the fentanyl. It's not even that major. It's not even a significant player really in the cocaine market. So what are we being saved from? It's the most preposterous thing I've ever heard of, that Venezuela constitutes any kind of threat to you or me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is the most preposterous thing. There's not even during the Soviet Union, the official ideology of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union was to launch a global revolution, overthrowing all the governments and all the social orders of the world and replacing everything with one communist government controlled by Moscow. That was their official ideology. That's never been anything like Venezuela's ideology. That's never Chavez's ideas, Maduro's, nothing. They don't care about the United States. I mean, I'm sure they'd like the United States to become an ally and probably be socialistic, but they're not. This is not an imperialist crew at all. I mean, certainly not in regards to us. It's just ridiculous. They're just anti-imperialists, man. In fact, they're much more of that than anything else. More than socialists, more than nationalists. They're just anti-imperialists. Chavez and Maduro, that's what they've been doing for 25 years now, has been basically organizing or trying to organize a Western hemispheric rejection, basically a BRICS. Before BRICS, Chavez started BRICS, Petro-Carib, it was called. It's still around, and they're going to try to revive it, which is where Venezuela supplies oil to these countries to make them basically independent, or at least get them off of Western supply. So that's what a lot of this is about, by the way, is to try to break that movement of Latin independence, essentially, hemispheric, and an attempt to finally break the Monroe Doctrine. Because who exactly gave us the right to control the entire hemisphere? What? Who gave the United States sovereignty over every country south of our border? Well, James Monroe did, but who is he exactly? So yeah, it's a very virtuous, I think, movement. And by the way, the socialism they practice in Venezuela, even though I think it's probably mostly a bad thing, it's hardly the command and control economy of like the Soviet Union or Cuba or East Germany. It's a very sort of soft socialism. So there's just nothing. This is all ridiculous. And the Venezuelans are literally starving in large part because of the sanctions and because of all of the covert subversive activities of the CIA and the NED and all the rest of it over 25 years now. It's disgusting. Venezuela used to be it was the wealthiest, I think it was the wealthiest country in South America. Caracas was the jewel of Latin America. And now you literally can't go outside at night in Caracas. People don't go outside because there's so much crime and so much poverty. Anyway, Yankee, go home, man. Tell Michael I send my regards.
I would have agreed with you 6 years ago. I would have agreed with you 2
I know.
years ago. I would have agreed with you 1 year ago. But
right, which is why I'm wondering where you are.
well, there's
What happened to you? That's exactly why I'm wondering. What did happen to you?
I don't want to undermine this administration in anything they're doing.
In anything they're doing.
Yeah. But
so Trump was right about what he's going to do on Fifth Avenue.
Okay. Look.
No, I mean it. That you just said that. That's what do you mean? I'm not being unfair here. I mean, that's truly, and I'm not. There's not ad hominem. That's what you're saying. You're saying you will do anything for him. You'll support him no matter what.
I'm not going to do anything for him. I'm going to.
Okay, so you won't fillet him, but you will vote for him no matter what he does.
It's always about the mouth. It's
you want. No, not always. No, but you're saying you will support him, not do anything, but you'll support him politically.
Look, at this point, yeah. Like after the Biden administration.
No matter what?
After the Biden administration, okay, illegal orders, right? Illegal orders. The last time somebody was given an illegal order was like the vaccine mandate. And they purged the entire military of anybody who resisted that illegal order. So I don't trust these people on talking about illegal orders. And the military occupied DC, the National Guard occupied DC for Biden's inauguration. So let's talk about Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay,
fine.
The 28-point plan. Well, okay. Another thing about the deep state is the Witkoff call got leaked. This administration has a problem with leaks. So the CIA people in there, or somebody, doesn't like them. And the entire mainstream media took this Witkoff call as like, oh, Trump's working with Putin. Trump's people are working with Putin. So the peace talks for Ukraine are being undermined. Every time they move forward at all, the entire mainstream media calls Donald Trump destroying democracy in Europe for authoritarian dictator Putin. But this 28-point plan that also got leaked seems to not, you get Russia gets to keep some land. Ukraine gets security guarantees. So the critics of the security guarantees, like Michael Tracy, says this is nothing new. This is basically de facto NATO membership. This is Section 5 protection, which is what people were worried about to begin with. The people who like it are saying, well, this is NATO and this is EU, Europe, that's going to be on the hook for any of this. And hey, maybe in 10 years, there might not even be a NATO anymore. So maybe Putin can roll into Odessa and say, we're having a referendum and just annex it like he's been doing in the past. Have you looked at this plan? What do you think about that? Another thing is the bringing Russia back into G8, bringing Russia back into the global community, bringing Ukraine into NATO, saying that both of these states are going to exist as nations. Is there hope for a ceasefire that lasts maybe a couple years on this?
Yeah, none of this matters. I mean, so my answer is the same answer I've had for every basically event in Ukraine for now. What is it? Probably 2 years. When was Bakhmut? Whenever Bakhmut fell, since then, it's just been waiting. Waiting for the West to accept that Russia has won and will not accept terms that are unfavorable to it. It will not accept any status quo that it invaded Ukraine to correct in the first place, like NATO membership. Now, yes, this so-called plan, and by the way, this plan has never been released as a document. There's no piece of paper. This is reporting, and then it's reporting of the reporting. This is all second and third hand. And so it was a 28-point plan, and now the reporting, I think as of yesterday, is out. Now it's a 19-point plan. It's been reduced. But yeah, so Russia simply won't accept. So I was going to say, so yeah, it's officially, Ukraine will be made member of the EU, not NATO. But there's no functional difference. And apparently, according to the reporting, this also has, as you said, Article 5 security guarantee, which is essentially, I mean, there's some debate about this, but it's essentially, right, if Ukraine gets attacked, the United States and every other NATO member is on the hook to defend it. So what's the difference? It's NATO membership. Russia will never, ever allow that, because that's the major, I'd say that was the principal reason they invaded, to stop that from happening. They will not allow thousands of actual Nazis who are, their brand of Nazism is anti-Russian racism. That's how their twist. I mean, the Nazis were anti-Slav too, but the Ukrainian Nazis, that's their principal hatred, is of the Russians. The Russian government will not allow the Ukrainian government and major portions of its military to continue to be controlled by Nazis who think that Russians are orcs who need to be exterminated. It will not give back the Donbass. It will not give back Crimea, the East and the South, which it took control of over the last 15 years. And that covers it, I think. You know, they've said that at the beginning of the special military operation in February 2022. They said, I just listed, those were the reasons they gave why we're doing this. And they have said that repeatedly every single week since then, for 4 years now, almost. And once they finally seized Bakhmut, that was the big pivotal military victory, which it was about 2 years ago. I don't know, something like that. Since then, it's been crystal clear to everybody that Russia was there to stay, that the front line was not going to go backward anytime soon, or at all, ever. And that Ukraine had zero chance of driving Russia out, unless the only way, as everybody's always said, the only way is if the United States sent boots on the ground, or, you know, launched a bombing campaign against Russia itself, which would be World War III. We'd all be dead. In other words, Ukraine can't win. So we can't. Yeah. Russia has simply been waiting for the West to accept reality on the battlefield. They won 2 years ago. When are you guys going to accept this? You have to give us those terms. They might negotiate on some other issues, some ancillary issues that might be important, but not those central ones. That's it. There can be no NATO in Ukraine. Remember, NATO is a hostile military alliance, hostile to Russia. That's its reason for existence. It was created out of hostility to Russia. It was maintained and extended out of a hostility to Russia. Everybody who is a member of NATO is run currently by a head of state who is officially hostile to NATO, except for Trump. Every European head of state is officially hostile to Russia. How on earth could they allow a hostile military alliance to be on their border? So they just won't. And then Donbass and Crimea, similar, because those people who live in those places are 90+% Russian identified, and the vast majority, by every piece of evidence, they want to be a part of the Russian state, not Ukraine. So yeah, people have to remember it was an act of defense and liberation, the Russian invasion. It was. The people of Donbass were being slaughtered. 10,000 of them were killed. They were launching artillery into the city, killing civilians all the time. And that was the Azov Brigade doing that, the Nazis and the Ukrainian army were doing that. So the invasion by Russia was precipitated mostly by that, to save those people, to protect those people, but also to keep Ukraine out of NATO. So, yeah, I mean, so all this right now that's going on, I think it's Trump trying to finagle, trying to force Zelenskyy into agreeing to a peace deal, which he has not done yet. He's been very, very obstinate, because I think Zelenskyy knows that the only peace deal that's going to be a real peace deal is giving up the ship, because the ship is lost. It's just Putin's waiting for everybody in the West to accept it, to understand it, and acknowledge it. So yeah, I mean, there's just no chance that they will concede on those issues that I listed. And that's it.
In the prep, you brought up this energy scandal that's coming out. Ukraine's National Anti-Corruption Bureau is alleging $100 million of embezzlement with their energy company. And in the middle of the blackouts that's been happening in Ukraine, this is drawing a lot of ire domestically for Zelenskyy at him. And I believe you said this might be a potential color revolution playing out. That is, are they folding to Trump, and is Trump telling them to kick out the dictator, kick out the unelected guy who's not holding elections here? Is there some deep state trickery happening behind this scheme?
It's an awesome story. I mean, we don't know the full scope of it, but there's no question that somebody involved with the deep state, some agencies or operatives with the deep state that what we call the deep state is involved, because the deep state's been involved in Ukraine for 2 decades, 3 decades. But that's not even sort of the funniest and most important thing about the story, I guess, which is that, when the Ukraine war started in February 2022, Ukraine at that moment was ranked the most corrupt country in Europe, all of Europe.
Yeah, any article about Ukraine before 2022 is corruption and Nazis, corruption and
Nazis.
Yeah,
right. But especially corruption, I think. Well, both, but yeah. So I mean, lots of bribery, lots of graft, lots of extortion by the government, by government officials, like lots, and organized crime being intertwined in the state and the military. And so the war starts. It's a crisis. The West and NATO has to rally immediately and start pumping money and weapons as fast as it can into Ukraine to stop the Russian advance, because if they didn't, it was certainly possible and looked likely that Russia would seize all of Ukraine and expand further into Europe. And so they did, as we all know. They started pumping tens of billions of dollars of money and weapons and equipment straight into Ukraine, straight into the veins of Ukraine. And they knew, the NATO officials, the Americans and British and the French and the Germans, the ones who've been pumping most into them, they knew how corrupt they were. They knew that there were gangsters all up in the government in Ukraine, that they loved taking money from foreign governments and spending it on yachts. And so part of the deal, they said, and I don't know if this was a memo of understanding or not, but the deal was, we'll give you all this money and weaponry if you have 2 agencies that oversee all of it, oversee it and make sure there is no corruption, because we know about you. And there 2 agencies were established, I forget the names, that were essentially run by Western countries, the ones that were giving the money to Ukraine, so that they could make sure, do an accounting of their money being spent correctly. Well, last summer, Zelenskyy effectively shut down those agencies and said we're no longer going to let them operate. And that's when massive protests hit the streets. And the question that people are now debating is whether those protests were in part orchestrated by the CIA and the National Endowment for Democracy and all the agencies and the Soros groups that have orchestrated the so-called, as you said, color revolutions in all the countries in Europe, many of the countries in Europe. So to get rid of Zelenskyy, in other words, has the beast, has the what you call the deep state, has the CIA, has the American empire turned against its boy and is now trying to throw out Zelenskyy because he's so deeply corrupt and because he refuses to accept a peace deal. Very plausible. I've seen zero evidence of this, but it's highly plausible. But that is the state of play in Ukraine, and it's pretty funny. Oh, so yeah, the other part of it is that this company, an energy company, there was just a massive graft bribery scandal within it. $100 million was essentially embezzled by government officials. Zelenskyy administration officials stole a total, I believe, of $100 million basically through this company. And this was, of course, this was money from the United States for the most part. So it's all tied together in this beautiful, hot, corrupt, imperialist mess.
Oh,
that's killed a couple 100,000 people.
This was in the prep a couple weeks ago, but Bill Gates backtracking on climate change.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's over. Finally, guys.
Yeah.
Climate change is over.
Oh, and this is part of the deal, though, is
Seriously.
all this energy promises to use Ukraine for data centers and nuclear power for those data centers. And I think Bill Gates was at Mar-a-Lago before he made this statement. And
you think Bill Gates had sex with cute teenage girls, really?
No, I said Mar-a-Lago. Not.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm so up to here with Epstein these days. I hear Mar-a-Lago. I think, yeah.
Well, Bill Gates, yeah.
So Bill Gates, this is about 2 weeks ago, gave an interview, I think.
Yeah.
Or a talk, maybe, in which he just flat out declares that climate change, the consequences of climate change, are not as catastrophic as we have thought, and that we need to mitigate aspects of our global economy, not radically change any of it, because climate change is simply not as bad as we thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates, this is from him. So when I saw that, I said, it's over. That's over. It's over. It's the beginning of the end, I think. I do think it's the beginning. I think it's been waning because there's just simply, we keep hearing it. It's now how many years into this? 30 or so years we've been hearing that we're going to be underwater in 20 years, 30 years, 40, 20, I think 2050. Yeah, weren't they saying that? We're going to be underwater. The cities of the United States, many of them will be underwater in 2050. Look it up, guys. That was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That was the thing every environmental group was saying. It was all over the place. Underwater by 2050. So we got 15 years to go. Do you think we're going to be underwater 15 years? So people, I think, are just getting tired of it and they're just not seeing it anywhere. It's just, nobody has died from it yet. Not one person. No one's even lost a house from it. Not one person. Nothing. Ridiculous.
NVIDIA's earnings were last week, and they exceeded their expectations for the quarter. And people are talking about potentially there's an AI bubble, but it seems like there's $4 trillion in NVIDIA right now, and the entire future of the economy seems on speculative AI. And you need fossil fuels, and you need a lot of energy to run these AI data centers. And perhaps the arms race for AI is why the climate change ideology is going down. It's because the elites know that we need this energy if you want to have all the AI power.
Boy, I sure hope AI is as big as they think it is, because, from what I've heard, basically all of the economic growth in the country over the last 2 years is in AI. Like all the job growth, everything, apparently, the whole thing. Every good indicator in the economy stems from AI investment. Principally NVIDIA, but there are many, many companies, of course, trying to get in on this gold rush. And it is a gold rush. Now, the thing is, you know, there was a gold rush in 1999, too, for the internet in general, which resulted in the dot-com bubble and it burst, but what then happened after that?
Amazon, yeah.
Everything, yeah, and then YouTube happened, and Facebook, and social media happened after that. I mean, so I bought a house in New York City, an apartment in New York City, in 2001, right before 9/11, right after the dot-com crash, and right before 9/11, and you know, I thought I was dead. I thought we were dead. I thought we'd like thrown our money away. And the value increased 50% in 7 years that we were there. So long term, because the internet happened. Yeah, there was a crash at the beginning. Over speculation happens all the time. Same with gold, the gold rush of 48, 49. Yeah, there was a big speculative boom and a lot of people went broke. And there was, you know, disruption in the economy, but long-term gold, a lot of gold got discovered and taken out and distributed in the economy. So same with, and the internet was even, of course, a far bigger effect. So same with AI. I mean, I feel it in my life already. I've only been using it for a few months, but it's like, it's just made everything faster. Everything I do fast. Now, there are some pitfalls because it sometimes hallucinates and makes things up. So you got to check it. But, you know, that'll get better, I assume. And I also see no reason to believe any of the doomsday prophecies. It seems sort of like not competent enough to kill anybody. But anyway, whatever the case, investors are all in. American capital is all in on AI, from what I've heard. And if it doesn't become as big as the internet, we could have a depression, you know, because we got all our eggs in that basket. So if that basket goes upside down, we're in trouble. But I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know shit, but I mean, I know what I just said, but it doesn't seem like it to me. I'm not terribly worried about it because AI seems to me like it will be a real pervasive, game-changing technological innovation on a par with the internet in general.
Real quick, Zoran meeting with Trump.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Zoran's really popular, actually, like with normies. Like people are craving a young politician with new ideas, and he's fitting the mold for a lot of people. So he has like a lot of populist support for speaking to affordability issues, and he keeps repeating that word affordability. And Trump in the meeting sort of graciously like merged their two visions together and created this left-right populist thing where he's like, yeah, I care about affordability too. We're all working towards affordability. And Zoran didn't have the guts to call him a fascist to his face. And Trump said, I don't care. You can call me whatever you want. Yeah, he even said, the big one was about ICE and deportations. And he's like, yeah, you know what? New York City needs to be safe. And Zoran really cares about safety. And you know what? He cares about getting rid of these criminals even more than I do when I was talking to him. So, you know, we're going to be on the same page about that. So it seems like they worked out a deal, and like the populist air is surviving and thriving. And I think, you know, Zoran is to the establishment in some way, to the Hakeem Jeffries and the Chuck Schumers, what Trump was to the Jeb Bushes and the Mitt Romneys. And so I think they have a united front against the establishment on both parties here.
I mean, it was Trump at his best. You know, it's what I love about him. It's what I would hate about him if I were a Trump supporter, though. I said, or I was going to say that if Mamdani had stayed in the White House for the weekend, had done a whole weekend sleepover with Trump. By Monday, Trump would have been a member of the DSA. Like he was moving so fast ideologically because he likes whoever. If you're charismatic and you're a winner, you're charismatic, and you like New York City, you're basically indirectly flattering him, I guess. I mean, no one knows what Mamdani said in that meeting, but clearly Trump liked him, and all of a sudden he's talking like Bernie Sanders. In fact, he said that. Trump, it was amazing to watch his education happening in real time. So he was figuring out what I said 10 years ago when he first ran for president in 2015. I said, when I heard him talk and his platform, I said, oh, Jesus, he's going to eventually find out he and Bernie Sanders
he knows
have the same basic political ideology. I don't know if he's said this much before, but when he was talking to Zoran, it was just like, oh, patting him on the shoulder and saying, Bernie and I, we're a lot alike. So yes, of course, right? I mean, horseshoe theory is sort of stupid and it's clumsily used, but there obviously is something there. What brings them together at the ends of the horseshoe is the state. That's what brings them together. They're statists, and that's why they have a common bond.
Because they both have power now.
No, Trump is happy to use the state, to affect social change that he wants. So does Mamdani. And some social change that Trump wants is not what Mamdani wants, but a lot of it is. I think Trump would be happy to have public housing projects all over New York that he built, with juicy contracts, but that were nice and actually made people's lives, they were free or whatever, and made people's lives better and made New York better and raised the standard of living for everyone. I'm sure he'd be all for welfare if it works and if he gets a cut of it and he gets the credit for it. And I mean those last things a lot, certainly the credit. He would need credit. He would need his name on buildings and stuff, but I think he's always been pro welfare state, generally speaking. And whenever the establishment Republicans start talking about cutting Social Security, as they did recently, what happens? His base rises up. Steve Bannon goes crazy. The entire MAGA base, half of them, well, they're mostly on Social Security, or a lot of them are, and big chunk is on some form of welfare. So that's his base. That's his politics. Nationalist populism, which has been around in this country since the 19th century with the original agrarian populists in the Southwest and the South and the Midwest. That was a movement of farmers, some workers, some industrial workers, but mostly farmers who were getting screwed by the banks and screwed by the railroads and screwed by the governments, the state governments, the federal governments in various ways. But it was a sort of American working class movement, right? Agrarian, so not industrial. It wasn't a Bolshevik populist. It was an American style, meaning it was based among farmers, independent farmers, who are basically at the end of the day independent business people, which changes their consciousness. And so that's still that's Trump's populism. It's still sort of that kind of ethos. They're not farmers anymore, but a lot of them are independent business owners, and they're not socialists. They're not industrial workers, so they don't have any connection to that sort of industrial proletarian socialist tradition, which has been in certain parts of the United States. They're not a part of that, but they fucking hate big corporations that screw them around. They hate the government that tries to impose weird things on them. They hate taxes, and they don't like wars. I wish they hated the wars more, but they do. They don't like the wars. They feel manipulated by the big government. Populism has always been about the people versus the big interests. It's always, they've always said, the populists in American history. And so there's a lot of, MAGA is very much consistent with that tradition. So, but it's not radical, it's not revolutionary, it's not socialist, but it is based in basically a working class or lower class ethos. So that's where it's coming from. And funny thing is, Trump was born to a multimillionaire and has always been rich. But such is life in America. So
yeah. One thing I also want to get at, have you heard about the movie After the Hunt? Julia Roberts, Iowa Debris, Andrew Garfield.
Mm-mm.
For those keeping track at home, Jack Mason of the Perfume Nationalist calls it the best movie of the start drinking. Calls it the best movie of the 2020s.
Okay.
You saw Tar, right? Yeah.
I watched a piece of it.
Yeah. It's basically Tar, but instead of a classical music conservatory, it's the Yale philosophy department.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So a lot of talking about Foucault, a lot of Agamben and Foucault in the background the whole time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'll check it out after the hunt.
After the Hunt, it's on Amazon now. It was in theaters for a little bit, but it's on Amazon.
Speaking of Foucault, guess what I announced? Guess what we announced at Unregistered Academy today? What is postmodernism? Everybody's favorite course, our most popular course of all time. When we offer it, it's been a while. It's been years since we offered it, but it's back up. It'll be offered December 11th. I think it is. I think it's December 11th, Thursday. Yeah, go to Unregistered Academy, Substack.com, and you'll see it on the front page. But yeah, so that's out, and Black Friday is happening. So there will be a deal, a really, really good deal on annual subscriptions to Substack, both Unregistered Academy and Thaddeus Russell Substack. So look for that starting on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Check it all out.
The monthly now at Unregistered Academy without a discount is less than anything we've ever charged for anything. And putting a discount on top of the bundled discount for a year subscription is just stealing from you at this point. So this is your chance,
you know
guys.
Why? Because we're populists.
We're populists.
We are of the people, for the people, by the people. So the people should join us.
We're not in this for ourselves, guys.
No, this is for you. This is for you, the people. They know it. They know it, Michael. They know. They know we're doing this for them. So right now, also, well, this is really populist. This is like Andrew Jackson level. After every Wednesday night Unreported, we do the after show where the people come and hang out with us and they can do whatever they want. It's like opening the White House, just like Andrew Jackson. Do you want to put that? Oh yeah, just go there and become a member, a subscriber. And as soon as you do, there's a link to the Zoom meeting on the front page of my Substack. So just click that link once you become a subscriber, paid subscriber, and we'll see you in the Zoom room when we hang out after Unreported every Wednesday night. And it's a blast. So that's where we're going to go right now.
Sweet.
Peace.
Don't give up the ship.
Never.